reason we started making quarter arcades is for our passion for the machines, for the arcades themselves. So I kind of led with my heart on this rather than my head. So what we did is we made Pac-Man, and I was like, there's no way you can have an arcade without Space Invaders. So we went and signed the deal, the license. We got renders made of the machine, and we went out to you guys and said, Space Invaders is coming. The problem is, I didn't appreciate how much development and how difficult Space Invaders is. So then I handed it over to Karl.
Yeah, and when Matt handed it over to me, we also realised how difficult this was going to be to develop. It is a completely different machine internally. We'd obviously been through a lot of teething problems with the earlier Namco machines, and we didn't really appreciate how complex this was going to be. So over the last easily 12 months, we've been putting a lot of attention into Space Invaders, trying to get it right. We do have some samples here, which I'd like to go over now, just to show you where we are with it, and just go over some of the problems that we have faced. Okay, so this is one of the first reveals of the new machines. As you can see, we are also releasing Space Invaders Part 2. I mean, they both look excellent, and luckily these are both in exactly the same cabinet. These are early samples, so there's a few things that aren't correct. You'll probably notice that the joysticks are far too high. And you can also see a very high gloss on the artwork. The reason for that is all of this artwork has been recreated as a vector. It has very, very fine detail, and we were struggling to get that kind of level of detail in there. So we have managed to do it now. This is very, very high standard print, but on these machines it has come out with high gloss. That will revert back to the traditional kind of matte finish that we've seen across the earlier machines. Just to go over some of the problems we've had with this, with development, and the reason it's taken well over a year to even get to this stage, is Space Invaders has a very unique method of basically portraying the gameplay inside of the machine. With traditional games such as Bubble Bobble here, you are just looking directly at a screen which is just fed at a nice viewing angle. The way these two machines work is actually the monitor is inside right at the bottom of the machine. It is then projecting the gameplay up and reflecting off an angled piece of glass. It's actually called the Pepper Ghost effect. Obviously, when we've shrunk down a full-size machine down to a quarter scale, it's been very difficult to get the angles correct so that it is a kind of natural viewing angle looking down into a machine of this scale. So we've had a lot of back and forth with our suppliers, our factories, trying to get these angles correct. Not only that, the way it works is we have a nice star field at the back, and there's also a moon at the front. The traditional machine would use a kind of traditional filament light bulb, like a 2-foot UV bulb. Obviously, we cannot shrink that down. We cannot get a UV bulb in there the same way it would produce light as the original. We've had to use LEDs. Unfortunately, the LEDs do not give off enough glow at this scale to light up the star field and light up the moon. So we are still trying to tweak how that's going to work, because we do want the moon to be that nice luminous orange in front of the gameplay. We are confident that we're going to get that right, but that is the kind of final thing we need to get this machine right. But as you can see at this stage, they do look fantastic. They look excellent alongside each other, being the same shape. And we are very, very close to getting this one right.
Okay, so I'm very excited to show you the next reveal in our machines. So it's the new Taito machines. We've got Kix and Zookeeper joining Bubble Bobble, which is from our previous launch. These are handmade samples, as Karl alluded to before. We have got the gloss finish on here. They will be matte by the time they go into production, just like the original machines, but the detail and the vibrant artwork has really come out, and we're very excited about these. We haven't got an elevator action here at the moment, but that's another one that's on its way, and again, will look fantastic next to these machines. Look, one of the things I wanted to mention here is something we're very excited about, and hopefully you guys are as well. During the 18 months where we have been very quiet and developing our products, one of the things we're going to be doing with our machines going forward is we've managed to put a CRT screen on top of the LCD. So what that means is we've recreated that curve that you would see in an arcade that you don't see when people put in an LED screen into there. So it's a very subtle curve that goes on the top. It doesn't distort any of the gameplay, but hopefully you'll see when you can see a light go over it, you'll see that curvature, and it just adds that more authentic look to the original machine. Look, you know, what we're trying to do here, people go, well, you're just bringing out the same machine and changing the artwork. We're not. There's more to it than that with the different machines and the different control panels. But to be honest, a bit like we have with Space Invaders and we are doing with the Taito machines, is obviously when we've created a cabinet, to be able to bring machines out quicker, one of the things we can do is use that model and then tweak it with control panels and artwork and recreate another machine. So we do have elevator action coming out as well. But I have to say, you know, personally, when I go to an arcade, I love it when the same shape machines are all set together. So yes, it is just creating the same arcade shape, but it looks awesome when they're all put together in a display. So we want to keep creating these machines. So we have elevator action. Going back to the fan club group, one of the ones that we get asked for a lot was Jungle King. Massive fan of Jungle King. The artwork and the cab was amazing. However, there is an issue with Jungle King that a lot of people will already know, that due to licensing issues with the Tarzan estate back in the day, they actually changed Jungle King to Jungle Hunt. So we know we couldn't make Jungle King, so we tried to get Jungle Hunt made, but again, there is some licensing issues with Jungle Hunt. However, there was a third machine made called Pirate Pete, which is basically Jungle Hunt, but it's got a pirate in it instead of someone going around the jungle. So we have the license to make Pirate Pete. We really want to make Pirate Pete. We have the game, we have the cabinet, we have everything. The one thing we don't have is the artwork. And I wanted to do a bit of a shout out in this video to say, if someone could help us, if someone has an original Pirate Pete that, you know, we can get photographs of the original artwork, so to retrace that artwork, or if someone has the artwork in a flat format that we can use, we would be very grateful if they could get in contact, because we'd love to make Pirate Pete, but at the moment it's due to lack of artwork that Pirate Pete hasn't been put into this lineup.
Okay, so before I move on to the final two arcades, I would like to introduce you to a new accessory that we're going to introduce to Quarter Arcades. This will be an official Pepsi product, and it is also going to be a USB hub to power the rest of your Quarter Arcades. Obviously, as the range is growing and growing, you can see all of the new arcades we'd like to bring out. We feel like these are good additions to Quarter Arcades. They sit very, very well with the arcades. They look great on a set. And it's nice to be able to just have two functional units that will power the rest of your range, so you're not going to have a lot of wires getting in the way. So we thought, having the Pepsi license, it was a good one to introduce. It makes sense alongside all of the arcades. It's something that you would have seen in original arcades, and it has come out really, really well. This is a handmade sample, again, just like these machines, but it has the light up front, the light up buttons. So just like the Polybius arcade, you are going to be able to plug in multiple machines. So for the last two machines of the announcement, we're very, very excited to introduce the two Turtles machines. So we have the traditional Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Turtles in Time. Again, they look absolutely brilliant. These are handmade samples again, so the artwork, although it's very, very high print quality, it has come out again in the gloss. That will be coming out in the matte finish. We have managed to do what we've done with everything else. We've taken the full-size machine. The actual version of this, which we do have one outside, is huge, and we've done an amazing job really of getting it down and being able to retain all of the measurements. It was very important for us, with this being a 4-player machine, that 4 players were still going to be able to get in there and play. We didn't want to have to change any of the ratios between each player. We didn't want to make the control panel bigger in order to get 4 people around at this scale. And we have managed to retain all of those measurements. That is exactly the same as it would be on the original machine. The one addition we have made to this machine, which would not appear on the original, is the introduction of USB hubs. So we have 4 USBs hidden away behind the coin return door, and what we have created is a Quarter Arcades control pad. So basically you can plug this in, You can do this as 1 player, 2 player. You can play with this without using the controls, or even at 1 player, you can plug in this control pad and play the game all the way through. But yeah, it's a nice addition, and it means that, you know what I mean, if this is a multiplayer game, I think people got a lot of enjoyment in the arcades of playing this with their friends, and you are going to be able to do it with the quarter arcade machine. But yeah, just looking at them together, the same shape, same size, across the board, they look absolutely brilliant, and they are a great addition to the quarter arcades range. We want these to be perfect. We've essentially started again, but we feel we're now in a good place, and we're very excited to bring these machines out.
We've been quiet for 18 months, and there was reasons behind that. As you can see, we've been developing a lot of products. We were very conscious. We didn't want to make the mistakes we've probably made in the past with Space Invaders and Track and Field, as in announcing them too soon before we knew about how to mirror Space Invaders, or having the artist rights to the artwork on Track and Field. So what we're doing is, by announcing these machines, as you can see, they're much further on than we would have done in the past, and that is a new strategy for us. We won't be announcing products until we can really confidently say that these products are going to market. However, we are at a funny time, as everyone knows. You know, due to what the pandemic that's been going on, freight prices are going through the roof. Material costs and chips and screens are an all-time high, and this has meant we have to make decisions. Do we now, if we were to bring these machines out today, they're going to be a lot more expensive than they would have been 18 months, 2 years ago. We want to still be able to bring that to market at the most affordable price possible. The problem is, when is that? When are the chips going to start dropping back in price? When is freight going to come back down again? We honestly don't know. So we're not going to give dates today, but what we are going to do is we're going to put a link somewhere in the video about registering your interest, and we're going to keep you up to date. And we're also going to ask you guys for a questionnaire about pricing. Let us know what you think. Do you want to wait? Do you want them to come out now? We'll get the feedback from you guys, and let's make a decision together. So thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it answered some of your questions, and I hope you're looking forward to the new machines. We just want to end here, show you some footage of the new set which we've built over the last 12 months. The reason being, as our arcades extend, we've had to get a bigger set we can use for the pictures. So this is our new set on here. The one thing we did when we were making quarter arcades, or when we thought the idea of quarter arcades, it was never about one machine. It's always been for us about building our dream arcade. So it's about the noise of all the different machines going together. So when you see this set here, you'll see all the different accessories we have on here as well. Yeah,
we hope it inspires everyone obviously to create something similar to what we've created. It's not always about just the arcades. We're always thinking about different things we can supply to you guys, whether that be the USB hubs or individual accessories. Obviously, we have things on here like the stools and the tables.
Yeah, and we'll try and add it to, I think we're going to send out a questionnaire for anyone who registers as well. Yes. So we want to know your comments on machines, accessories, pricing, whatever it may be. As we've always said, this is a community. We want you guys to be involved in what and where we take quarter arcades in the future. So thanks for watching.
Yeah, brilliant.
All the best. Cheers.
Bye-bye.